Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning into this another episode of our Diaspora Impact, where we are chronicling and archiving those in our diaspora are giving of themselves, their time and their services to represent our community and to lead our community in ways that we determine is productive for our country and for our community. And this afternoon, we're going to continue our sessions with my co-host, Dale Brown, or I should say, Cricket Hall of Fame Secretary, the Honorable Dale Brown. And Dale, over to you.
Thank you very much, Professor. And tonight, the spotlight shines on Miss Merlene Mullings, known as Natalie to her friends, the president of the Montego Bay High School Alumni Association, providing opportunities for our youth in the educational field. Now, Merlene is best described as magnetic, dynamic, effervescent, vibrant, high energy. And these are just some of the words that aptly describe our guest. When all these qualities are melded with exceptional leadership skills that she provides, we have one of the outstanding leaders in the Jamaican diaspora, full of unmistakable energy that inspires everyone around her. And when these qualities come together, as we said, you have to celebrate her commitment to shaping a brighter future for many young women at Montego Bay High School. So we give a heartwarming welcome to Miss Merlene Mullings. Welcome, Merlene.
Thank you, Professor and Honorable Mr. Cricket. Thank you for having me on your platform. And I'm excited to talk about Montego Bay High School, St. James, giving back, serving, supporting. I'm excited. That's my passion, talking about and doing the work that needs to be done, because somebody has to do it. So thanks for having me.
You know, Dale, I'm so pleased because let me say this genuinely from my heart that she has a genuine smile. She doesn't have a plastic smile.
Yes, absolutely. So, Merlene, before we get into the meat of it, even though it's SosoBone, we just want to get a little introducer to the audience. And if you could tell us, for starters, which primary school did you attend?
Oh, which primary school now? All right. So, well, I went to Mount Alvernia Prep. I don't know what our audience is, if they know about the Montessori High School, Montessori school that used to be in Montego Bay. I attended that until it became non-extinct because of some political thing. And then I went to Mount Alvernia Prep. So those are the two primary schools that I attended before I went to Montego Bay High.
Right. Before you went to Montego Bay High. So in terms of personal growth, was there any particular experience in those young formative years that shaped your childhood and your future outlook?
Okay. So I think when I spoke with Dale originally, I told him I grew up at the SOS Children's Village in Barrytown. I don't know if everybody must know where Barrytown is. So I am one of 14 children. My mother had 14 children, not counting what my father had. My mother had 14 children. And was having a difficult time. So myself and one of my younger brothers, we were raised at the SOS Children's Village in Barrytown. And since I was 5 years old until after high school. That's where I was raised. And it was an exceptional childhood, exceptional. And in terms of shaping who I am, that is the reason why I do what I do. I think I spoke briefly with Dale about this, that someone gave me a chance, someone looked out for me, someone encouraged me. And so I feel that it's my obligation to do the same for the next person, whoever that person is, whoever that child is, even adults, whoever. So I would say that being raised at SOS Children's Village and knowing that someone cared about me and really encouraged me, and put something for my future. So it's my obligation to do the same.
Well, we call it paid forward.
Paying it forward, yes.
And I am pleased to know that you're clearly able to identify and recognize the foundation, because it all starts with building a good foundation. And that comes from your primary school foundation. And on top of that, you build high school. And on top of that, you might be in college. But on top of college, you build a community.
Community. Yes. Community is very, very important to me. One of the things that I do, for example, Cornwall College is having they're having their fundraising dinner this weekend. And sometimes you'll have some of the ladies that go to all girls school, or they go to another school. They're like, no, I'm not going to Cornwall. I'm not going. I don't just see what I do as supporting Montego Bay High School. I see it as supporting St. James, because that's my immediate community. And then Jamaica, and of course the broader world, right? So I'm going to support as many things as I can, because you have to look at the big picture, right? We want our young men to be educated and to learn how, we want them to be educated, not just in the book, but in how they should treat our women, right? So we want the boys to be educated so that they can take care of the girls at Mobile High and Mount Alvernia and wherever, right? So that's how I see it. It's all about community, and one has to create their community and support their community. And it's little things. You don't have to have millions of dollars to make a difference. I am not wealthy, but I know that I can make a big difference with what little I have. And it's not just money. It's not just material things. It's encouragement, right? It's information. And so, community is very important.
Well, we do not recognize anyone on this platform because of how rich they might be. As a matter of fact, you might never see anyone on this platform whose only relationship with the community is based on how much money they have. Because we value commitment and volunteerism, and it is priceless. Because it casts a wider ripple. When you throw a stone into a pond, the ripple starts, and you can never tell where the ripple stops. It goes to oblivion. Okay? So this is where we say that this platform is a place to listen and a place to be heard. And those who listen to you, the ripples of them getting in your story, seeing where you're coming from, the kids in your primary school who recognize you as one of their products. So they see mentorship long distance, okay? Long distance mentorship. This is the impact that we are building in our diaspora community under this platform of Diaspora Impact.
Yes. And that's very important, as a matter of fact, Montego Bay High School has a mentorship program. And they've had it for quite some time. And I think during COVID or post-COVID, they invited the past students that are living overseas to be mentors, and it's been fantastic.
Good.
It's just been amazing. My original mentee, I think I'm like 5 mentees in, and my original mentee, she calls me auntie now.
Good.
Like that's the relationship that we have. Her mom is actually in Canada, and I check on her every night before I go to bed. She
What's
has
her
to
name?
call me. Yes.
What is her name?
Her name is Michelle. Her name is Michelle Barnett.
Michelle Barnett. Just
Yes.
for history's sake, I need her to be embodied into this conversation.
Okay. Yes. So
Yeah.
that's my first the first young lady that I mentored. Yeah, she calls me auntie. She's developed a relationship with my family in Jamaica, with my niece. So yes, obviously mentorship is very important because in some small way, someone mentored me. They probably didn't even realize they were mentoring me, but they poured something into me. And you know, that's just what I'm doing every day. The work that I'm doing with the school. I mentioned to Dale, I believe that you know we're supporting a community in Uganda because it's not just about us. It's a diaspora of Black people. It's a diaspora of you know where we're coming from, right? So we support a community. Montego Bay High School, the Alumni Association here in New York, we support a community in Uganda. Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
We started doing this drink so when COVID started, the first weekend of COVID, we recognized that you know our members are going to be stuck at home and some of the women live alone, their kids are grown, and you know we're women of a certain age. And we recognized that persons were home, so we said, you know, let's get on Zoom. And we got on Zoom that Friday night, I guess it was 2020 in March. And we stayed on Zoom every Friday night until maybe like a year or so ago.
Okay.
Every Friday night. And one of the women that was on the Zoom, she has an aunt who lives in Uganda. And the young ladies there were on this, the girls there were unable to go to school because of lack of feminine products. And I was just outraged. So, you know, I reached out to everybody. And by the time you turn around, we had raised funds for the girls, each girl to have, they have reusable ones that they can use. So we provided all the girls, and immediately you could see we got reports that the impact that it made. The girls were going to school. The girls were back in school.
Okay.
And then we started supporting lunches. And then we started supporting students who couldn't afford to pay for their uniforms. So it just, as you said earlier, it just rippled.
Yes.
And, you know, I have 3 kids that they're my kids that I pay for their school. And, you know, I support them in as many ways as I can. And a lot of the women in the association, they've done the same. And it's, you know, even the other day with the hurricane, they sent us a letter saying that they're praying for us because they knew that our home country had been devastated by Hurricane Melissa. So, yeah.
Who are the members of your supporting committee, your board?
So our board members is, I'm the president of the Montego Bay High School Alumni Association of New York. My vice president is Mrs. Maxine Brown Hilton. Our treasurer is Mrs. Opal Sutherland Sangster. That's our treasurer. Our secretary is Miss Ava Marie Clark. Our assistant secretary is Desiree Williams. Our director is Mrs. Jennifer Gordon. And our Patricia Absalom Minot is our director of operations.
Okay.
So those are the board members.
Okay.
Yes.
And which company has been your biggest supporter in the community?
We have no companies that support us. We have tried, we have reached out, we have never gotten a sponsor for anything that we've ever done. We have never gotten a sponsor. This is all stuff that we go out and, you know, we do what we need to do to sell tickets. And we ask our members to ask their friends and their family to support things that we're doing, but we have never had a sponsor for anything that we've done.
Good.
Yeah.
And I wanted that to be clearly established, that notwithstanding, you're doing excellent work. You're providing mentorship because there's other organizations just like yours going through the same journey. And, you know, at this stage, they will recognize that with or without, you will get the job done.
It's about the passion. It's about, you know, sometimes I get upset with past students, and it's not just Moby High past students, just past students in general who don't support the alumni, don't support your school, or don't support the alumni associations. Because I'll say to persons, you don't have to be a member of the organization. You can choose a student at the school and do a scholarship, or just say, okay, every month I'm going to give Moby High something towards your lunch program. And so I get upset about when people don't do that. However, I recognize that not everybody has a passion that I have, right? And so a lot of times I feel like organizations might fail or not do well because the passion isn't there, right? And not everybody has a passion, right? Not everybody's interested in really supporting that. They'll talk, but when it comes to getting the work done, they don't have the passion, or they're not interested in doing it. And I have to tell you that the Montego, our organization, our members are just extraordinary. The amount of things that we do, as you said, and we've never had a sponsor for anything that we've done. And we're 14 years old. We're actually only 10 years old.
Okay.
Formally organized 10 years old. We did some work, maybe altogether 14, but formally organized 10 years. And I think that we've done amazing things. And it's because of our members that are very committed to our goal and our mission. Yeah.
What is the composition of your organization?
So it's all past students of Montego Bay High School. We have a few associate members, like my sister is an associate member because she believes in what we're doing. So it's strictly past students of Montego Bay High School, and maybe about 5 or so associate members, which are generally family members or friends, actually. One of our associate members, her sister went to Montego Bay High School, and she said she wants to represent her sister, and she does phenomenal work. She moved to Florida, and she does like I said, she has a passion.
What's her name?
Everybody has it. Colleen Troop. Colleen Troop lives in Florida. She used to live in New Jersey, and she's an associate member. We have another associate member, Carol Roberts Buttle. They do phenomenal work. When we have our mega draw tickets, they sell 200, 300, 400, 500 tickets, right? So again, it's about the passion and really being interested in supporting the students, and supporting Montego Bay, supporting St. James. It's not just Montego Bay High School.
You sort of remind me of the bees that we like to talk about with Dale, that within the colony of the bees, you have the queen, who is the president. Then you have the worker bees, of course. And you still have the drones, who does hang around.
Well, I feel like we're all worker bees, let me tell you, because we get down and do what needs to be done. Because we're really interested. I mean, personally, it just warms my heart when I get a letter. We do educational awards. I think I might have mentioned this to Dale when he did we spoke earlier. And we have people just give $250 to the students, and it's a big deal. And when you read those letters of the difference that you're making in the student's life, I mean, how can you not, right? And so our members are phenomenal. Generally for the year our organization has dues $50 per year, and we steadily have 50, 60 paid members, and there's organizations that are much older than we are that they don't have dues and they don't have paid membership. So I'm very, very proud of that. We're very proud of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pleased to hear that, because recognizing that it takes a small match to light a fire. And 25 or 30 years from now, 40 years from now, when they're looking back and they're listening to you speaking about what you're doing at this date in time, 2025, they will understand where they are coming from. And when you know where you're coming from,
you can figure out where you need to go or where you're going.
Okay.
Right?
Brother Dale, over to you.
Okay, so Merlene, I know that your administration has a very strong focus on education.
Is it Merlene or Natalie?
Merlene is Merlene, yeah, aka Natalie. That's my pet name. We're Jamaicans here. Professor.
Okay, because I'll just open. I was not speaking to a person with split personality.
No, so we're gonna stick with Natalie from now.
Whatever you want to stick with it.
Okay. So you have a strong focus on education, and I want you to tell us a little bit about the individual educational awards that that your organization has facilitated, and then the scholarship program that you have.
Okay. So Montego Bay High School, we're not very we're not known for our sports prowess. That's not our thing. I think a couple years ago we had a good soccer team that did pretty well, but I don't think, not in my time, we've not had a team go to pen relays or anything of the sort. When I went to Mobile High, we were very good in tennis. I do remember that. But for now, as far as I can remember, and if you talk to a Mobile High girl, they will tell you that students that take those exams to go to high school in the Western Hemisphere, Mobile High generally gets the girls with the higher scores, allegedly. As far as any Mobile High girl will tell you that. And I didn't know this until a couple of years ago. And so we want to continue with the legacy of excellence. You know, it's very important to us that Montego Bay High School is in the top 3 when they list those high schools every year, right? And the students there are, and it's not just Mobile High, but the students are brilliant. Whenever I talk to them, when I hear, you know, when I get their grades at the end of the year, when those CSEC exams come out, you know, you have students having all, you know, all these passes that they get. And when I have conversation with them, they're brilliant. They have great ideas. You know, they're doing all kind of things that I never thought of when I was at Mobile High. And I want to support that, right? We want to support that. Yes. And so I'll give you a little story how the educational award started. So my mother, God bless her soul, she's passed away this year, 19 years. And my mother came to the States. She used to come here every summer and she wasn't well. She came and she ended up being diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And so I was not going to send her back to Jamaica. I had her here. She got treatment. But I knew that the time would come when she probably would pass away and I would have to take her home. So I started saving because I didn't have an insurance policy for her. So my sister and I, we started saving. And my mother did pass away. We ended up taking her home before she passed away. And we had saved about $1,000 when that happened, my sister and I. And I did not want to use the money. I just wanted to leave it where it was. But then I decided that I could use it to start a scholarship in her name. Okay. And my mother had sold at Chetwood and Mount Alvernia as a vendor for decades. Decades. I don't even remember at this point how many years, but for quite some time. And I started doing it at Chetwood Memorial Primary School. It's near Mount Alvernia. And it just became a challenge. It seemed to me like the principal was not doing the right thing. And I couldn't find anyone to really continue with it. So when I became a part of, I did it 2 years at Chetwood School. And then when I became a part of this organization, I said, wow, this is a perfect opportunity for me to carry on with something, you know, to honor my mother and to, you know, because she was very big on education as well. Okay. And so I said that $1,000, I'm going to give 4 students $250. And that's where our educational award started. We put it out there and said, anybody can start at $250 if you want to do 500, 300, whatever you want to do. You can set the parameters. Like some people will say they want their educational award to go to a student from Mount Salem. We've had that. Somebody wants the educational award to go to a student who wants to pursue the sciences. So you get to set the parameters. You basically write it the way you want it to be, and we obviously paid out to the students. So those are the educational awards. Last year, I want to say we paid out over $10,000 in educational awards. This is people, members, friends and family that give us $250 out of their pocket. And we're very, very grateful for that. And then we have the scholarship that's paid from the organization, from MBHSANY, which is the shorter name for the organization.
Repeat
and
that.
MBHSANY is the, you know, the short way of saying Montego Bay High School Alumni Association of New York.
So your website is?
Our website is www.mbhsany.org.
Repeat
We're a
that.
501c3 nonprofit.
Repeat that.
mbhsany.org.
Okay. And is there a button on it, a donate button on that
Yes, there
platform?
is. There absolutely is. There's a donate
Okay.
button there. Thank you.
Okay.
And so, I'm sorry, yeah. So that's the educational awards where that's coming from individuals, they set the parameters. And then we have scholarships that we started maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. We started scholarships and we pay out about $5,000-6,000 per year. And this comes directly from the organization, and it's the students that are going off to tertiary education, whether they're going to university, teachers college, and those amounts vary because depending on where you're going. We've actually paid to students going to school in China.
Okay.
Yes, we yeah, just wherever they're going, we send the money to the school, so we've supported that. So that the scholarship is about 5 years old that we started doing that. But we're very proud of the work that we do, and a lot of this is just our members being kind and caring and passionate about education. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the legacy of Montego Bay High School. Excellence in education. That's what I say.
Yes, very impressive. Thank you very much. And in terms of community engagement, could you tell us what your causes you have championed in that regard?
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, back to Professor SosoBone talking about community. Community is very important to me. Even in my personal life, I've created my community. We're from Jamaica and I'm living in the US. I have a community of my Jamaican friends. I have a community of my Montego Bay High School organization. I have my American friends that I've created, and I have all these communities. Sometimes they cross. I get them together. It's very important. And I tell people, I tell the women all the time, create your own community.
Yes.
Create whatever that looks like that works for you. Create your community. But yes, community is very, very important. And we live here in the US. We ought to support our community, right? That we currently live in. It's not just about Jamaica. And so what do we do? So again, we support Uganda. I talked about that earlier, the community in Uganda. Um, we have every year for the past 14 years, we do a toy drive. We partner with No Battle Should Be Fought Alone. And I can tell you a bit about that particular organization. It's very dear to my heart. So, No Battle Should Be Fought Alone is a nonprofit that was formed by a young man. His name is Tristan Dillon. He had cancer, and he was in a hospital and recognized that there were persons there who had no one visiting them, right? They were fighting cancer alone. And he had a huge community. His dad is from Montego Bay, very loved person. His dad has this huge community that was, of course, supporting him. And he recognized that there were people there who weren't being supported. So he started this nonprofit. Unfortunately, Tristan passed away. And one of my promises to him is to support his organization, to continue to support his organization because we already were supporting him. So we do a toy drive every year at the Praxis shelter in the Bronx. We give out toys to the kids. We give them hot chocolate, pizza, candy. We also bring lightly used clothing, lightly used toys. We bring books, and we make it a whole day in the Bronx. It's wonderful. And so we've been doing that for at least about 8, maybe about as long as the organization's been around. We've been doing the toy drive. Actually, we started out doing it with another organization in New Jersey. They stopped doing it, so we continued working with No Battle Should Be Fought Alone, and they're, like I said, they're a nonprofit. So we do the toy drive. We also we have what we call Serve the Needy Community, where not me, I don't cook, but we cook the meals, we parcel them out, and we serve them we started doing it on the streets of New Jersey. We walk the streets and serve meals to the homeless people in the streets or whoever wanted it. Freshly cooked meals, not a sandwich. Freshly cooked meals by Jamaican women. So you know it's good. And
Yes.
we would serve that. We started out at Penn Station in that area in New Jersey. And then we partnered over the years with different nonprofits. Currently, we are partnering with Abundant Grace Ministries in New Jersey. One of our members is the bishop. It's her church. She's a minister there, and her husband is a bishop. And we've been partnering with them for the past 4 years. And we serve meals to at a shelter for homeless individuals with mental health struggles. And they love when we come. They go nuts. They love when we come. So we've been doing that. I said for at least 12 or so years, we've been serving meals on the streets and then partnering with different, because I just believe that we don't have to stay with one thing or one place. You go where the need is, right? And if something isn't working out, you try something else, right? And keep doing whatever you're, keep moving towards your mission, keep moving towards your goal. So yeah, and we do at least 150 meals, by the way.
Okay.
And this is all donated. Most of the, our members donated the food or they give money. We do all the buying. We have members who cook and, we come together and it's a fantastic fellowship. We sing and praise, while we're packaging the meals. We have a wonderful time. It's really a good time in community and in sisterhood. One of the things I love about the organization is that we have a very strong sisterhood, like real, genuine sisterhood. We hold up each other accountable and we love on each other. People talk about our sisterhood. If you ask anybody who knows Montego Bay High School Alumni Association, they'll tell you we have a very strong sisterhood. And it's very important to me as president that we love on each other and we support each other. In so many ways. I can't even start telling you. Yeah. It's very important.
You are a reflection of the positive parts of our community, of an example of people who are doing positive things in branding our culture, from our conversations with people like Diamond Cunningham, who did an excellent project, and Marie Grant, who represents UWI, Neville Cox, who represents Cornwall College, Donovan Wilson, who is the president of UJO, Dr. Karen Dunkley. I'm only mentioning persons who have been on our platform so far. And that's a few. Okay. And yes, this is something that is going to continue. That is under Dale's umbrella. Okay. Diaspora Impact. Make sure that we collect the data on our diaspora.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Because so many of our people, we have lost them, like Mustard Seed, Daphne Mahoney, well, I'm lucky to have an interview with her that has been recorded, and even as she has passed. We have the old timers like Paulette Willoughby and Sadie Campbell, and Mama Faye Rodney at the Carib News and Carl Rodney. There's so many of us out there that needs to be indented into our community permanently. We don't want, when we have these things that are supposed to be examples for our children, that they say they can't find it.
Right.
Okay. Yes, for 50 years from now, they'll be doing documentaries on our Caribbean community.
Yeah, yeah.
And at that time, at least we will be able to say that they have records that they can access.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, my compliments, and I thank you so much for the energy that you bring to this platform. Okay. And listen, the Bible says that the sower went forth to sow, and he did not determine where he was going to cast the seeds. He cast them on rocky ground. Some fell in the water, some fell on good ground. The birds ate some and dispersed them at different places. And yes, community building is like that. You do not know where it ends up. You just know where you're starting from.
Where you start,
okay?
Yes. You mentioned Donovan Wilson. I'm also on the board of UJA. I've been a director. This is my second year on the board at UJA's board.
Okay.
And that's an organization that, you know, it's an amazing organization, right? They're doing fantastic work. I am honored to be on the board. Our organization is a member of UJA. And one of the things that we talk about at UJA, and I 100% agree, is that the alumni don't get, and you know, when you do volunteer work, this is how I feel about volunteer work. When you do volunteer work, you're just doing it because you want to do it. You're not looking for anything. There's no expectation. Whatever I do, I'm not, the only thing I ask people to do, as you said when we started, pay it forward. If someone puts you in a position, if someone supports you, you should then pay. It's your obligation. That's how I feel.
Yes.
That's it, right? And so what we talked about in UJA is that the alumni associations get no recognition. They don't have a record of the work and the amount of money. Like, I don't like talking about money, but let's talk about it, right? That the alumni associations put into Jamaica and into the school. So one of the things that UJA does, they do what's called a year in review, and I really like it because it forces you to write down, again, back to what you're saying about lack of records or lack of knowledge of what was before. It forces you to say, okay, this is what, and then every year we do our year in review. I'm like, oh, we did this. Right? So it kind of puts you in your face and also motivates you probably to do better next year, maybe do things a little differently. And so I totally agree with you that this is important, even if I wasn't a part of it, for persons to be able to go back and say, this person was here doing this. How can I make it better? How can I build on it? Right? So yeah, I 100% agree with you with that. Yeah.
Well, the bottom line is that the history and the tradition of our community has always been planting for the next generation. You know, Dale will tell you that when he goes back to Montego Bay, he might see a mango tree in the backyard and he planted the seed 40 years ago before he came north.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're reaping the fruits now. Okay. And yes, in all respects, whether it be a scholarship or a donation or just an act of goodwill.
Yes.
Encouraging. All of them are the seeds that we sow that takes root in someone's heart, and they might never get a chance to tell you that you were the greatest influence they had. There are many persons who we talk about that we never met, like Paul Mogul, Marcus Garvey, you know, and other luminaries in our past. But every time we see we succeed at something, every time we see our people excelling in every capacity, we say we're little, but we.
Hello.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a quick story talking about somebody planting a seed and encouraging you. So as I said earlier, I grew up at SOS Children's Village in Barrytown. And I think I might have told Dale this. I had told Dale a lot of stories the other day when I spoke to him. When I went to the home, I was 5 years old. And the woman who was the director there, her name is Ilsa Kessler. She passed away. And she was a director. She's this little woman. She's German. And she was a director there. Now, when I was growing up, of course, yeah, when you're a child, you don't want to be told. You don't want to be encouraged. You don't recognize what you have in someone who is an advocate for you, someone who loves you, someone who wants the best for you. I did not recognize that. Obviously, I did eventually, because I grew up and I matured and I understood all the things that she was saying to me, all the things that she was doing. And I can tell you today that the person that you're seeing here is because of that woman. She poured so much into me. I didn't see it and understand it at the time. And I never got I've thanked her, but I never got an opportunity to, as an adult, to really use my big girl words and say to her, you have no idea what you've done for me. And, you know, like, you really just encouraged me and poured so much into me for me to be this person that I am. Like, the spirit that I have, it's because of her. My confidence is because of her. And so I was told by someone, I lost touch with her because I came overseas and I lost touch with her. And one of the children that grew up there told me she had passed away, and I was devastated. And then the year before COVID, my brother told me that he found her. And do you know, I bought a ticket to go see her in 2020, and the country was shut down, so I couldn't go to see her, and she passed away. And I'll tell you, I'll start tearing up now. I don't really have any regrets. That's one regret that I have, because I wanted to let her know. And I mean, I spoke to her on the phone and I did say some things to her, but I really wanted to sit down and hold her hand and let her feel, you know, the person that, because I feel like she really created this person. I remember I went to Mount Alvernia Prep, and because I grew up at the home, I was treated a certain way. And she told me that, you know, you are the thing. She told me I was beautiful, that my voice was important, what I had to say mattered. Like, that was not things that people in Jamaica were telling their children. Okay? So this is, I am here because of Ilsa Kessler. And I just wish I was able to tell her. And I'm sure she knows, because I did say some things to her over the phone when my brother put the phone to her when he found her that day. But yes. And so, you know, things like that fires me and pushes me to do what I do. And I will not stop until I can't do it anymore. Encouraging and showing love to someone. Yeah.
Well, let me say that, tell you that she knows.
I hope so.
You see, when the sun shines down on the trees smiles by giving the sun flowers.
Yes.
She knows that the seeds that she has planted, they have gone on to places that she has never gone to. I mean, you have gone from her point of view where no one has gone before. Okay? And that is not lost. Just like Jamaica is not unconscious of what the diaspora does. Okay? They might not recognize our alumni for what they're doing, but at the same time, they say, we love the diaspora. And every time we are in trouble, every time there is trouble,
the diaspora
they don't have to say dial 911 or 119. They don't have to dial.
We come.
We come.
Yeah.
You know.
Natalie, you spoke about a bishop, and that leads me to Bishop Rose Hudson Wilkin.
Yes.
What can you tell us about her?
So Bishop Rose Hudson Wilkin is another person. She's an inspiration to me. She's a past student of Montego Bay High School. When she attended Montego Bay High School, she came from very, very, very small means, such as myself. And she actually was, she's currently the Bishop of Canterbury, which is, I mean, it's huge. It's a big deal. She actually prayed at Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's wedding. She said the prayer there. We're very, very, very proud of her. And one of my favorite things about Bishop Rose is her humility. Like, if you don't know that this woman is who she is, she's like the most humble person I know. I admire her so much. And she just actually wrote a book. It's called The Girl from Montego Bay. It's on Amazon. You should. It's a very, very good, easy read. You should read it. And I want to tell you that I'll tell you one of her stories that she told us, how she wrote that, the title of her book. So when she was being asked to be, she was going up for a position in Parliament. I think they wanted somebody to be the bishop in Parliament, she wasn't a bishop at the time. There was a position in Parliament that was being offered to her. And they eventually decided to give it to her and another person, the other person being a white man who went to some prestigious college but Bishop Rose did have her degrees as well, very, very well educated. And they talked about her, the white man and all his accolades and everything. And when they talked about her, they said that girl from Montego Bay. And
That
she
girl
said,
from
I'm going
Montego
to,
Bay.
oh yes.
And bear in mind, this was in the UK.
In the UK. In the UK.
No, I just needed you to
yes, this is in the UK.
Make that distinction.
Yes. That's how they talked about her. And she said, I'm going to write a book. And when I write the book, that's going to be the title. Okay? And so that's the title of her book, The Girl from Montego Bay.
Let me tell you something.
And she is just a superstar in so many ways. But my favorite thing about her is her humility.
I met her in 2009.
Oh, you met her, okay.
Because she did come to New York at the your Independence Church service at that time. I think she was the one who preached at that church service. I think it was 2009 or 2010, run in that year. I don't
know about the Independence, but one of our events that we have, one of our fundraisers, she was our guest speaker.
I know that.
So yes, I don't remember what year it is. I'm horrible with dates, forgive me. But she came and she was our guest speaker.
Yeah, I am aware of that. That is why I let you know that I met her in 92.
Oh, that's when you met her. Okay.
Yes, that's where I met her. That was during the time when Jenny Brown Mesper was Consul General in New York City. She brought her over and she gave the introductions and the welcome and the Thanksgiving at our Independence Church service that year.
Oh, okay. So the other thing about Bishop Rose is she wrote her book, and a bunch of women, again, community from her denomination and the Montego Bay High School Alumni Association, we did a book tour for her that was extremely successful.
Good.
We had book signings in Manhattan, in Brooklyn, out in Long Island. We did some in Florida. We did it, not the publishers. We did it. And it was extremely successful. So that's our Bishop Rose. We love her. We are very proud of her. She's an amazing human being, a woman of God, and just the most humble person that I know. And I just really, really, truly, we all admire her so much. Yeah. So we were happy to do the book tour for her. Yeah.
Well, I'm happy that she is the girl from Montego Bay because as you might recognize, we have not had many of the stars from Montego Bay visible. Okay. And sometimes, they get run over by the other organizations. So I am pleased to document the girl from Montego Bay.
Montego Bay. Yes.
Wasn't she here this year?
Yes, that's when we did the book signing for her. The book signing, yes. Our particular book signing was actually August 2nd. Yes, for that our organization did. And then she did like the next day, which was my birthday, August 3rd. There's a community. So the community she's from in Montego Bay, her church community, they have like transplants here, and they call themselves St. Francis in a Foreign. That's their name of the organization. And they have a reunion every year. So one of the book signings was their reunion, and it was just amazing. And again, one of my favorite words, and Professor SosoBone, community. It was the most, they had women, some of the people there, their parents were here, their mothers were here, who mothered Bishop Rose and encouraged her when she was, a young girl in the community. And it just really warmed my heart. So yeah, she was here this year for her book signing. It was from August 2nd to like maybe the teens. She did a bunch in New York, and then she did some in Florida, and then she went to Jamaica to be with her family in Jamaica. So yeah, she was here this year.
Yeah. I believe that this year would mark your 90th anniversary for Montego Bay High School, and unfortunately, because of the hurricane, I'm sure that would have an impact on celebrations going forward. Could you tell us how it impacted you, and what are the plans?
Okay. So as you said, this year would have been our 90th anniversary. I'll give you another little story, a quick story. So again, COVID. I don't know how you feel about COVID. COVID for me was good and it was bad, but there was also a lot of good. Montego Bay High School turned 85 during the COVID pandemic, and the New York chapter spearheaded because we had been on Zoom doing all kinds of things. I don't know if I told Dale, we actually wrote a book during COVID, right? So one of the things that we did, we actually celebrated our 85th anniversary on Zoom, a 3-day weekend. Friday night, Saturday was our gala, and we had a church service on Sunday on Zoom. And it was phenomenal. Phenomenal, so not just in spirit, but in we raised a good amount of money, right? So something again that we're very proud of. And the New York chapter spearheaded it. So what was the question? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
The
Oh, the 90th, right.
impact,
So
right?
yeah. So so for the 90th, we had a whole week of celebrations planned, obviously. It's usually Montego Bay High School, most of their celebrations is a week of Thanksgiving here in the US. They were gonna have a 5K walk. We were gonna have a museum day. We're gonna have an alumni day. They had all these plans that they were gonna do, but obviously because of Hurricane Melissa, those plans have been canceled. I don't know if they'll do anything next year because I don't know what it's gonna look like. I feel like, I feel like it's gonna be a while for us to get back to where we need to be because of this hurricane. I think the one thing that they might do next year is the 5K walk. That's just one conversation that's been had, but everything else has been canceled, which, we're very sad about, but a hurricane is a hurricane. So nothing is happening except for maybe the 5K walk next year. What we will, because our plan was to renovate the auditorium. I don't know if you remember, if you Montego Bay High School auditorium. In my memory, the auditorium, when I was growing up and going to school there, we used to have plays there. A lot of concerts used to be held there. And so it needs a big time upgrade. We need some serious money to upgrade it. And then the school can rent it out. And that can be a source of income for the school, right? That's the goal. And we were really excited about that, but we're going to have to put that on the back burner for now. The school hasn't been damaged compared to like Cornwall College and many other schools, but we did get some damage. And, that's stuff that we're going to be working on to get the school reopened. I think they might even be reopening next week because I believe water is back in Montego Bay and power. I'm not sure, but the 90th is not happening. And that's just lifing, right? So, but I'm excited about the 5K hopefully next year. Yeah.
Okay. Just a quick mention before we close. Leanna Wainwright. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she's a champion swimmer from Montego Bay High School, and she holds the backstroke record for the 50 meters, junior record for Jamaica. So you do have wonderful athletes.
That is what, well, like I said, we have 1 and 2 here and there.
Yeah, but she's special.
That's really special. I think I remember that. I think I remember that.
She is special.
Yeah.
And richness is not measured with money and material things. It's with sharing. And sharing is the spirit behind the act of giving.
Yep.
And sharing is actually love in action.
I love that.
So you are bounteously gifted, abundantly gifted with the ability to share with compassion. And I can see how you were shaped in this way. And you have had some very, very influential persons in your lives.
Yes.
And I know that when I think of the SOS Village, I always think of Johnny Cash.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so did you have any connection or any connection with
Absolutely.
him?
Oh, yes. So Johnny Cash was a patron of SOS Children's Village when I was there. I met him numerous times. He had a cottage. I forget where you call that part. Back in the day, it was Intercontinental Hotel, right? Out by Rose Hall. I don't know if you
Mhm.
remember that. But he had a cottage there, and we used to go. He would have us kids come there, and we would just be there with him. And I remember I said I was gonna bring it, but I'm not home, unfortunately. But he did make a record, a 45. I don't even remember what the song was, but he did make a record, and all the proceeds went to Montego Bay, went to the SOS Children's Village. And on the picture, the art was a picture of the children at the time, and I'm one of those children. I'm going to take a
Oh,
picture of it and send it to you, Dale. Yes,
okay.
yes. And you know what's interesting about that? So obviously when you're a kid, right? This stuff means nothing to you. Like you're like, you're just not interested in any of this. But I went to Jamaica a year after I came to this country, and I went home one summer, and I was walking. You're from Montego Bay, right? Dale, are you from Montego Bay or no?
No, I'm not.
You're not. Okay. So,
I went to Cornwall and spent many years there, but I'm
oh, so you know
actually,
Montego Bay if you went to Cornwall, I'm sure.
yes,
So Sam
absolutely.
Sharp Square, they used to have a record. You remember that record store that used to be right at Sam Sharp Square? All right.
Mhm.
Anyway, there's a record store that used to be, and I just happened to walk into the record store, and the 45 was there, and it was like five of them, and I bought all of them. And I gave them to different kids that grew up at the home with me, and I kept one for myself, and I still have it. And so I'm gonna take a picture and send it to you.
Yes.
And yeah, so Johnny Cash was a patron. You know who was also a patron of the home? John Rollins. All that property out there belongs to John Rollins. Don't ask me how and why, but yes, all that property out there belonged to John Rollins. And he was a patron of the home. And as you said, Professor SosoBone, Dale just said, the more I think about it, and every time I talk about my childhood, I recognize that I had these amazing people who, as Professor SosoBone said, they were pouring into me. I was sucking it up, not even recognizing that I was sucking it up, right? And that I was taking it in. And some of them have passed away, and I wasn't able to talk to them in my big, because I'm very big on letting people know that I appreciate them and that I love them. I wasn't able to tell them with my big girl words, but I do believe that they know, Professor.
Yes.
And my mother is not here. She passed away, but I never wanted to disappoint my mother.
What's your
I
mother's
always,
name?
my mother was Miss Nellie Taylor.
Nellie Taylor,
Nellie Taylor, that was my mother's name.
mother of 14,
Mother of 14.
abundantly blessed.
Yes, and so I just know that, the more I think about my childhood, and I just wish that I could tell all of them in my big girl words. But the way that I tell them is for me to live out, because a lot of these people were giving, right? They were sharing, they were encouraging. So I'm living out what they poured into me. So in a way, I feel like I'm telling them, I'm showing them, and I'm not disappointing them, because that's one thing I never wanted to do, was disappoint them. I couldn't take the look of disappointment on anybody who is good to me, who took care of me. I always wanted to make them proud. So yeah, that's just very important to me. Yeah. But
Well,
yeah, John, I'm gonna take a picture when I go home. I'm gonna take a picture, Dale, and send you that 45. I still have it in the plastic. I never
Yes.
played it.
And that song was a ballad for Annie Palmer.
Yes, I think that was it. You're right.
Yes. Yes. And
Yes.
he was a great man. And after the children's village, was there any other connection with him?
No, actually, that's not true. So I came to this country on a scholarship from John Rollins, and June Cash. It was John Rollins and June Cash. They paid for me to. I went to this small church college in Georgia, in Waleska, Georgia. Waleska. You know, that's like way up there in the country. Anyway, and it was June Cash and John Rawlings who were my patrons. Yes. But after that, I didn't have any, you know, any contact. I don't even believe they used to still come to Jamaica. Like by the time I left the home, I don't believe they were still coming to Jamaica. I could be wrong, but after that I didn't have any contact with them. And that's tough, you know, it's like as an adult, that's something that, you know, kind of bothers me. Yeah, when I think about it, yeah. But
Well,
again, I go out of my way to do good and to treat people right and to help others and encourage them because somebody did it for me. And I didn't have to. Yeah.
well, before Dale goes into his rap, let me do a special outreach to our world community, to the hundreds and the thousands and the millions of people who will see Natalie Mullings as she expresses and shares with her what makes her who she is. And I'm going to invite you in appreciation of her energy and her service and her wish to change the world, to go to the website for Montego Bay High School. It is MBHSAA dot
ny.org.
ny.org and make a small contribution, not a big one,
Small one.
a small one. And I say this because no matter how much you give in money, it is small compared to what you give from the heart.
Yes.
So I thank you for your generous support of the Montego Bay High School. Go to the website, www.mbhsaany.org. www.mbhsaany.org. We thank you for your support. Over to you, Dale.
Yes, thank you, Professor. And Merlene, Natalie, I'm going to tell you that you are truly, truly special. Speaking so candidly for the past hour and showing us that you are just exemplary in showing us that true leadership lies in humble service to humanity and being a steward of God's creation. And you have made whomever it is that has helped to shape you extremely proud, because I believe spiritually they are there with you, still guiding you. And in the midst of everything and in God's presence, you are truly a special lady. Thank you very much for being with us. And I'm just really almost speechless listening to you speak just with frankness, honesty, and making yourself vulnerable. And when people make themselves vulnerable, you know that they are speaking from love. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. And thank you, Professor SosoBone, for putting that call out. We'll take anything that we get because we can do a lot with it. Thank you, Dale, for having me, for thinking of me, for thinking of our organization. And I do hope that something I said here will encourage someone in their everyday life, in their studies, and encourage someone to support someone or support an organization, right? Yeah, so thank you so much. I truly appreciate the opportunity. I really do. And I'll send you a picture of that Johnny Cash thing. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.